Hey everybody, Dave Laird here with DCS Training. Do you want to learn how to use the DCS 50 target for the Mantis Laser Academy? Well, I'm here to show you. So the DCS 50 target is actually our warm-up drill for our more advanced classes. So you've already worked on your draw to first shot for quite some time. We typically introduce this warm-up drill or the DCS 50 target pretty early on, and so that you have homework to take home, you can work on this target and work on your draw to first shot. This is more complicated than most classes, okay? And the reason for it is the draw to first shot is one of the most important. There's lots of things that we want you to understand in regards to your sight picture and how to build your grip and engage your target and be accurate regardless of the circumstances. Okay, this target helps you do that as well as self-evaluate. And so let me explain to you how you use it. So you notice we have the Mantis Laser Academy set up. We have the target inside the box so it'll record any laser shots that are landing. We want to be about 3 yards from the target so we can do this effectively from inside our home, okay, or at the range if our range allows 3 yards, and draw from the holster. So we've got our pistol set up. We're going to start working on the top row first. Now the goal of this is to still do everything in slow motion, just like we did in previous drills with the circle targets. So I'm not interested in trying to do this fast. I'm interested in trying to do this perfect. So we're going to be building the exact same grip as before. Press out onto that first box and build that trigger pressure, extend our arms, and land that laser inside the box. If we do that successfully, then we can gradually increase speed. We're going to do it 3 times in each box. If you miss, you don't get to make it up. You can only use 15 rounds. So 1 draw, 1 shot, 3 times in each box. And if we know we're doing it perfect, if the shot lands right when we have the sight picture, it's not coming early, it's not coming late. There's no movement still going on. And we're landing inside the box. As soon as we complete the first box, we can move on to the next box. And we're going to do that all the way across. We want to try and build up our speed along the way. Notice there was a little bit of hesitation on that one. We don't want any hesitation. Alright, does it for the first row, exactly 15 rounds. This next one, I still like to practice it from the draw stroke, however it's not necessary. What we're measuring here is our height over bore. So if we have iron sights, we want to place our iron sights so that they're perfectly flat, level, and even with this line, okay, on each of these. If we have a red dot, we want to place our red dot on the dot, okay. So going back to 3 yards again. I'm going to draw this up, align my dot with the dot, gradually increase pressure on my trigger until the gun goes off, and wherever it lands, it lands. Next up, middle one. Now you notice the next 2 are at an angle. So what we want to do is drive the pistol out, and then I want to tilt my whole upper body from the waist until my sights are aligned, just like I'm leaning around cover and concealment. So I understand that my height over bore changes whenever I'm deviating from the typical straight up and down. Same thing goes on the left or the right side. Now we're going to bend our whole upper torso until that's perfectly level and even, and press that trigger. Now as you see, what I'm looking for in here is that I have the same amount up and down, left to right on each of these little circles, okay? So I don't want them way far down to the left, way far down to the right, really up and to the left, really up and to the right. I want the exact same, basically it's almost an inch depending on the firearm that you're using and how much input you're putting into the firearm. Okay, so that's exactly 5 rounds. 15's on the top row, so we've used 20 rounds. Now we're going to take what we learned from that second row and apply it to the third row. So we're going to draw the first shot. Now, on a live fire range, this is from 9 feet, just like the 3 yards here in a house, and it's a 9mm bullet and it's a 9mm target. So I'm going to drive out, I'm going to adjust for my height over bore, and land that laser on that black dot, and gradually increase speed on each one as they get more comfortable and proficient. So 2 rounds on each of these, 2 draw strokes, 2 rounds, or 1 draw stroke, 1 round twice on each of these boxes for a total of 10 rounds across this third row. Alright, so now we're done with that row. Now, why don't I get to get makeup shots, Dave? Because all we're going to do is dirty the target. We're not actually going to be accurately able to measure our performance if I screw up and just keep trying to make up. The whole target gets dirty and then you can't actually grade yourself. And I really want you to go slow enough that you can grade yourself as you're performing this drill. Now these last 5 boxes, these are cadence exercises, and so you'll need something that has a resetting trigger like a SIRT pistol, or a magazine that you can insert to your pistol that allows you to reset, so that you can fire multiple shots. But this is our cadence exercise. So we don't worry about the holster drill here. What I want to do is 1 round per second in the first box, 2 rounds per second in the second box, 3 rounds per second in the third box, 4 rounds per second in the fourth box. And then the 5th box is a bonus box I'll explain later. So the cadence sounds like this. For 1 round per second, it's 1 Chicago, 2 Chicago, 3 Chicago, 4 Chicago, 5 Chicago, 1 Chicago, 2 Chicago, 3 Chicago, 4 Chicago, 5 Chicago. Now under live fire, that's going to be a lot more difficult, and the support hand plays a major role in managing that recoil for you. Okay, but I want to get used to working that trigger at a perfect set cadence. Okay, it's going to help with your split times. All right, second box is 2 rounds per second. So the cadence sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Okay. I'm only doing 5 rounds because when we do live fire, again, we're trying to conserve ammo, so we don't want to just blaze away on this particular target. Up and down is fine. You notice that these are elongated targets. That's because we're going to be experiencing recoil, and that trigger is going to be resetting in various places. And so we're looking for a good enough sight picture. But the reason why they're elongated, they're still very narrow, is because we don't want you mashing so much of the grip that you're deviating left and right. There's less forgiveness left to right as the air is top to bottom. So building a zipper is fine. We don't want a lot of movement left or right. Okay. All right, so now we're into that third box, 3 rounds per second. And the cadence sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, we want to keep it inside that box. It looks like it's recording my laser slightly off target, but if you notice, my camera is catching it on target. So, fourth box, 4 rounds per second. This is a lot spicier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I didn't even capture those. We'll try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So despite not capturing that, I can visually see it. All right. Last one. When we're at the range, you take 1 full magazine and you want to start slow, gradually increase speed while managing the recoil. Keep it inside the box and go as fast as you can working that trigger. Okay, and again, she can't record that speed. That's fine. All right, so the goal of this is if you can complete that top row flawlessly, then congratulations, you can move on to the height over bore second row. If you're still struggling with the top row, there's no point in trying to do the second and third and so forth, okay? master that top row, draw the first shot. Now you can start working on learning your height over bore. And if you're still struggling with that, there's no point in moving on to the third row. But once you conquer the height over bore section, then go ahead and start tackling those black dots. And what you're going to find, live fire or dry fire, is that maybe you only get 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 10 the first time. Our goal is just keep seeing improvements. So the next time will be 5, next time will be 7, eventually you'll get 10. I've done 10 maybe 20% of the time. Usually it's 8 or 9, about 90% of the time. And I practice this a lot. So then lastly, the cadence. Cadence is super important because that 4-inch circle that you see in our circle drill represents center mass, upper thoracic cavity or head shot at 3 yards, okay? And so the 2-inch circle represents the same thing, a 4-inch circle, but from 15 yards. And the 1-inch circle represents the same thing, a 4-inch circle at 3 yards. Now it's 25 yards, okay? So even though you don't have 25 yards in your house, using these smaller circles allows you to practice everything from 3 yards out to 25 yards. And so if you want to build your confidence and getting a good, confident draw to first shot using these targets, it's an outstanding drill, and we hope you enjoy it. Feel free to leave any messages you like down in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. You can get these targets from the Mantis Laser Academy online and have them sent to your house. The live fire targets, you can also go to our website, DCS.training, and print them from the footer down below. You'll see where it says targets. The directions are written on the back in case you have more questions. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day.